Hey guys, I'm Lena, and today I will be telling you the 7 best tips to learn a new language, regardless of your age or situation that you're in, whether you're working or a student or a child sitting at home. I feel like the question that just rises up when you watch videos like this is, how would this person know what the 7 best ever tips are? Well, I am basing this on me, but these are the ways that I actually learned all 5 languages other than my native language, so I feel like it worked like every time. They're just really easy and they don't really require that much effort. And some of them are just like, you can sit at home and do it, and it's super easy and very useful. I don't want to make my intro super long, so let's get started. So the first kind of tip or way you can learn a language is obviously language learning apps. I feel like nowadays, especially now that we're really involved in social media and the internet overall, language learning apps are basically the top way you can learn language at the moment. That is super convenient and super easy and just incredibly fast. I do want to specify that these language learning apps are not going to get you to the level that you would maybe want to be at. I know that most language learning apps would bring you to B2 at maximum. I don't think they would really bring you to fluency. They're really great to start up learning a new language. The ones I recommend are these ones. Off the top of my head, Duolingo, Busuu. Duolingo is actually free, which kind of helps with the money issue, because I feel like many people just don't want to pay that much to learn a new language, because I feel like it's just like a hobby. Unless you really want it for business or for school, it's just a hobby and you wouldn't want to spend that much money on it. I am going to talk about that in a second, where you are willing to pay to learn it fluently because you need to. The second one, and this is like super popular and super known around the world, and I feel like one of the most used methods. I will get to the tips and tricks in a little second, but I just want to make sure that we have these 2 big points, how you can learn a language. And this is not a method, it's kind of more like a way. Tutors, personal tutors, one-on-one tutors, maybe groups. Italki is a great app. I've learned 2 languages with Italki. I found my teachers on Italki, and honestly, it's just a really great way to find a teacher that caters to your own interest, since you can find teachers from any country that you want that are maybe interested in the same things as you, because you can also state that, and maybe you have like cooking in common or like traveling in common or anything like that. And also the one thing that I specify always is, if you can afford a tutor, just get it, because it's honestly such a game changer. It's at the same time experience with talking with an actual native or the person that speaks the language fluently, and as well as like people just correcting you all the time, because sometimes you might speak and you might not understand that you made a grammatical mistake, and then you're just like confused all the time. The next one is quite interesting, and this has made me learn English. It isn't my first language, but I do speak it quite well, if I do say so myself. But I learned it through movies, actually. It's such an interesting way to learn a language, because you might not think it is a way to learn a language, but it actually is. I feel like the thing that made me learn a language is just hearing it being spoken and understanding it purely because of the context, purely because of what's going on. And I didn't even need to look the words up in my dictionary. I just kind of understood it because I saw what was going on in front of me, and I just kind of picked it up on context. I don't think it really depends on the movie you're watching or the show you're watching or TV you're watching, but it does, I feel like, depend on where the TV comes from. I wouldn't really recommend watching movies that were translated to another language. I would want to like watch movies from the countries that actually speak the native English language, and where the movie was made in the English language. That's what I'm trying to say. The thing is, I didn't speak a grain of English at that point where I started, and I just opened a show because I heard great things about it, and I was like, let me just watch it. But I tried to like test myself and opened it in English with English subtitles. I didn't open it with the subtitles on my native language. That just kind of made it hard to watch it. But at the same time, it was really fun. And then after a while, after like a couple seasons, I could really understand what was going on, which I was very proud of. I feel like the most fun part of this method and tip is you can go back and watch the show again or the movie again and pick up things that you may have missed the first time you watched it, maybe because you didn't understand those things, but after a while it was just really fun. Like, I didn't know this was there, or I didn't even know they spoke about that. I didn't even know that this happened, and it's super interesting to look at. The next tip is actually not really a tip, it's just a point that I want to bring up. It's just very general, and the one thing I want you to do when you're learning a language is to turn yourself into the person that is from the country that you're trying to speak the language of. I'm gonna explain what I mean because I feel like that was really confusing. Just turn your life into the language that you're learning. Take French, for example. I would change all my devices to the French language as soon as I'm like A2 or B1, so I can maybe understand some things. Second, I would definitely start listening to French music. French music has genres, as does the English language, as does Italian and Chinese. Any music has a genre, and if you're really into metal, you can listen to metal in Chinese, you can listen to metal in French. It is available, so if you're just really interested in that particular genre, I would listen to music in that particular genre. The next point is traveling. Next point is having friends that speak the language. Well, the question that arises when one brings up that is, how do I get friends that speak the language? How do I get friends from France? And honestly, in the age of social media, it is incredibly easy to find a person that is not a bot, nor some kind of predator, to find like as a friend. And I found friends from America, I found friends from France, and you can find them through Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter. Any kind of social media that you're in and you know the ways around, you can just find a friend your age, matches your interests. Super easy, and those social media apps are usually super diverse, so I feel like it would be incredibly easy to find a person like that. And plus, another question that arises, how would I even learn the language if we would speak in our mutual language in the first place? They're Spanish, I'm American, we would speak in English most probably, right? Because I don't know Spanish and they know Spanish and they also speak English, so it would be our mutual language that we speak. In these situations, I don't think many people understand how easy it is to pick up a language from the person that you're talking to. A lot of people accuse others who speak multiple languages and are polyglots of being prone to learning a language and having this talent from when they're born. And I can confidently say that it's mostly not true, and most of the time it is not true. It's all about a will. If there's a will, there's a way. I feel like if you're just really striving to learn that particular language, it would be so easy. And plus, I remember when I was learning Spanish, I just completely immersed myself in the language. I set all my devices to Spanish. I started to have Spanish friends. I listened to Spanish music. It didn't have to be like traditional Spanish music. I listened to J Balvin, I listened to Bad Bunny. I was just listening to different kind of artists that spoke Spanish in their songs, watched Spanish movies, and that just kind of immersed me in that language completely. At that point, you don't try to find things that are Spanish because they're all around you. You just pick it up because you have to. Because I open my phone, it doesn't say Monday, it says lunes. And that just kind of makes me write it in my brain. Lunes is Monday. Next day, it says martes, Tuesday. And I just kind of picked it up like that. Next point I'm gonna be talking about is gonna be super weird for some people, but you might be surprised at how well this method actually works. Kids songs. That's how I learned Spanish and French and counting in French and knowing weekdays in French and just random like simple stuff that is kind of a basis. The alphabet, numbers, weekdays. Those can be learned in literally 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, it just kind of set in my brain because it's a children's song, it's a melody. And scientifically, melodies are easier to comprehend than words, monotone words that might be said by another person or read by you. I remember I was, again, English, I was listening to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and that's how I learned the alphabet. You have to be consistent. It's not something that you can take breaks from. If you are learning a language at that particular time in your life, it's gonna be like a part-time job. You have school, maybe you have work from 9 to 5, right? From 5 to 9, you're gonna be learning that language. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. You are going to sleep. It's not something that will take your sleep time, your precious resting time. If you wanted to, it will take most of your time. But don't let that scare you, because it's actually something that I've been looking forward to for the past 5 years. That I've been learning these, maybe more than 5 years, that I've been learning new languages. Every day I comes from school, and school's obviously boring. It's just boring me, and maybe sometimes it exhausts me. I wouldn't just sit and do my homework right after I come from school. But whenever I had like a tutor class after school, I was very excited. Like that was a day that was, yes, like today is the beautiful day, because I have a French class, and that was like super motivating in terms of like learning the language. When I didn't have a tutor, I came home from school. I would go and I just like sit on my phone and learn the language, like watch those kids' little songs, and just really have fun, because it actually brought me a lot of joy and fun. I also love to record my progress. I love to just go and just write a text on some random topic. Kind of like an essay, but not really an essay, just like writing a text. I would write that, I would keep it in my notes app, and then after a while I would check on it, and I'm like, this is too simple of a word for this type of context. And I would correct it, or maybe like write a new one. And it doesn't really take that much money. You don't have to spend that much money to learn a language. It's actually not a very expensive hobby. At the end of the day, the perks of knowing an additional language are much more than if you were just monolingual. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you apply some of these or all of these to your life and your language learning experience. And I really hope that they helped you. And if they did, please comment down below. I would love to hear. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.